persons that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best.
Any other regrets?
The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were like the president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia, or that president will fail.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, the partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wines, and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of affordable housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to this year. However, I
effort to bring a new thing that will sit down with happiness. We won't like paper for that 7-year-old man. He's talking to me, and you go there, I will tell you that issue, I will tell you yes, I will bring one man away. But you keep on doing that, and I will tell you over my really, not to
when you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public office? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries, but there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. Conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brenda Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and now Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions of the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time with experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee some time before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D-404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the Special Court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the Special Court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the Special Court. What happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government of how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
you at? Where you at? Wake up on your stomach. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people sue us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. Oh yes, the strength. The people lie to us. The government betray us. The strength, the energy,
I said we tired with their lies.
the valor,
We tired with their
the
promise
courage,
that let
the determination, the health.
speech they preach indeed, and now you need
Did I include bravery?
the thing we
If I did not, then yes, the bravery.
you laugh. What if
These are attributes
you allow them to
that I ascribe to men. Men who are prepared to stand up
screw us, you screw us, you
to not only the oppressors,
so what
but those who live or sit in silence as the oppressors oppressed
they ask
the people.
the people screw us.
Frederick Louis Danielson on the 20th of March 1925 delivered a sermon, a powerful sermon. I tried getting that sermon today.
People fool us.
Oh no, my downloader gave me hard time. I hope I can try to download it tomorrow to play you that sermon. But at the close of that sermon,
Don't trust. My people don't want
Donaldson said to his audience
them broken.
that there are 7 social sins.
Why are they God that
He named the 7 social sins as
the people tired?
wealth without work.
The reason why we ask what the government be-
I got money, I got everything, I ain't wealth for it.
people suffer.
Wealth without work.
Hunger.
He said pleasure without conscience.
Nation is poor.
Yeah, go in the team play for example, where would be like, oh, they are so good. They start fighting.
Why?
Oh, you start misbehaving.
Why?
The people, you're not supposed to PP, you take a chance of the PP there. The pleasure without conscience.
People fool us.
Knowledge without character. Educator. That one lawmaker then. Our representative or the guy said, educator, even an instructor, professor at the University of Liberia,
So,
accounting cool.
a lot to us. The government be
But people say they do not have character. They violate our laws. They pace on our constitution and disrespect the Supreme Court ruling. Knowledge without character is another social sin. Commerce without morality.
tired with their lies. We tired with their promises. The people lie.
Oh, we have the nationalization policy. Oh, current ministry said nobody's supposed to sell.
They lie.
No foreigner supposed to do retail. We say Hashim Bashin. You can do retail. Jean John, you can do retail.
They get lost, they get steal, they go knock, they go knock. No one to trust. My people
Why are prices going up? Why is the government unable to control price?
telling you, brother. So,
They criticize when they were in opposition. When they are back, they cannot control price.
say the who have fought.
The morality of our commerce,
The people
because the livelihood of our people
they talk.
attached to our commerce.
What the government betray. They
Science without humanity.
suffer. No one for people.
That one for the scientists.
Look at. Your feet.
One physicist sit down somewhere,
So then let's
create a
Dunga.
deadly weapon, using it in other countries.
Why? The government.
Without respect for human dignity.
The question that we ask. They lie.
Worship without sacrifice.
The people lie.
Oh yeah, some of us we don't want to make sacrifices to serve our God. When the car spoil, the car down, we don't go to church.
The people who are so. The people
Oh, it's trouble, man. I go for Bible study today, man.
us.
I'm tired.
So the money, oh, I stay long on the beach or at the club last night, and today I'm tired. Let me sleep up to 11 o'clock now. I'll go to church to 1 o'clock. Worship without sacrifice. And the last, he said, the last is politics without principle. Politics without principle. And all of these are tied into our daily activities in the country. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, including our man Delano Bryant, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on the only political fellowship on radio at about this time. Here we analyze the critical issues and we run critical analysis about the issues confronting our society. As always, a lot to talk about. So tonight we want to talk transparency and accountability of the legislature. That's our conversation tonight. There are multiple issues to talk about. Oh yes, now, almost 20 years now, the legislature has not been audited. The legislature has refused to open herself to an audit. The executive has been audited, the judiciary, but that house, those people in that place say, hey, you don't come here with your pens and your paper. We will not subject ourselves to an audit as a legislature. And so we have a lot to talk about. Emmanuel Nuku was speaker. He announced an audit plan to audit the legislature, the house. It didn't work. Papa Chimos went there. It did not work. Bonati Kufa started it. He was removed. Richard Kun is there. He's not talking anything about it. He's talking about plan. He's calling on his counterparts. He's looking for money to modernize the legislature. So we'll unpack everything. Everything is in one package. We'll unpack them. There's a report of that the House spent 1.4 million US dollars on the Joint Public Accounts Committee audits and expenditure. The Grand Bassa lawmakers, the county say over 700,000 US dollars spent on projects in Grand Bassa. The projects remain uncompleted. The projects remain neglected. All of these things that are happening in our country, lawmakers are all involved. From county development fund and all of it. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia, Kwame Simpson. Very shortly, we'll take a break from our sponsors, Crime Stopper Liberia, Yanshing Biye. When we come back, we talk the issues that matter the most to our country's growth and development. My name is Austin Kawa. This is Freedom High Talk. This is Freedom FM. Welcome to the show. This week.
In many places, in every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime and report it, don't take law in your hands for the right authority. Really can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must talk it, I mean you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. I'm proud to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper. The people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper. Stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper. The people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper. Stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Yang Tieti to Deja. Introducing Yang Jimbia from Beijing, the newest sensation in town. Yang Jimbia is so smooth and light. You can drink it, wake up in that morning, feeling very energized. And you wicked boy, the woman will be very happy. No headache, no eye spinning. And the Yang Jimbia bottle, it got a special way again open. Nobody will ever use you for the opener again. Very easy. Yang Beer can be found wholesale or retail at Sir Exeter and Jungle Water, and also in supermarkets or bars around you. Reward yourself by drinking Yang Beer, and trust me, you will be ready to go.
Okay. It's time to talk. Let's talk. So all of you who've joined us tonight, let me welcome my members to for fellowship. But you guys have to share the live. I told you every time you come, you have to share the live. You know, we can't give you money here now. You come to fellowship, you have to share the live for all of us to join the show. James Lamy, welcome. Man Water Ability, welcome. Eric Iyaya, welcome. Helen Wilson, Emmanuel, CDC, Pape, Success, Keita, Liquidity, wish to Ezekiel Wayaka, what? Sorry, last name is not okay. Wayakoli, Ezekiel Wayakoli, welcome. Odile Gibson, thank you, Odile. Maurice Moose, Samula, welcome. Mohammed, welcome. Mari Gadi, welcome from Police Academy. Rodney Ja, welcome. Musa Sharif, Peter Wonde, Aliyu Kamara, Roberta, welcome all of you. What's up, bro? Emmanuel, bro, Terry Kone, all of you, welcome. Otu Dubon Hill, Alex Brown, Councillor Chokon, last name is not showing. But welcome to the show. Ebenezer, welcome all of you to the show. Ebenezer is watching us from Sierra Leone. So thanks to all of you. Trust me, a lot to talk about tonight. I'm not even too sure we can source all of these contents within 1 hour 45 minutes, but I hope we can try to manage the time and then open the telephone lines for us to interact. But it's good to have all of you here tonight on our voice. The weekend was good, though we are still, we have recovered, but yes, they say, oh my man, the body will have to come by, the strength and everything. Yeah, the body will come back. What was it? I see what happened. Yeah, body drop. You know what I mean? You've been saying what happened. Say, we've been down. So, but we shall recover. We good. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Welcome all of you wherever you're listening to us from or following the show. It's good to have all of you. I trust that your weekend was good and okay, because yes, I can tell you by God's grace, by the hope of God, my weekend was good. The only thing is I didn't go to church on Sunday, but I spent my entire day home. Yes. No wonder when I don't go to church, I love to be home all day. Yes. So let's move into everything. You know, a lot happened, and too many things to talk about, folks. So today, somebody forwarded a link to me and said, "Oh, the National Elections Commission is requesting 276,000 US dollars for the Nima County by-election, a seat that was created following the election of Samuel Koga to the Senate." And so next year they want 276K. I think in Mama, this figure sounds reasonable. You know, it sounds reasonable, but I'm sure the Ministry of Finance folks, you know, the gallery logistics and all of that is extremely expensive. Printing materials and at times I ask, why are we still printing? Well, some people can say for security reasons. I say, but the Ghanaians print their election materials right in Ghana. So what are you saying? They certainly print their election materials right. So most countries print their election materials in their country. So why are we still printing our election materials? Why are we still going to Ghana to print our materials, our election materials? You know. But again, we still go to Ghana and print our election materials to come to Monrovia, and we still complain of foul play, ballot stuffing, all these kinds of things. So what's the essence? People say because of security reason, we want the process to be transparent, but we go to Ghana and print our election materials to come to Monrovia, and we still, see interferences with our electoral processes. We still hear complaints of malfeasance and all of that, or electoral malpractices. People, they brought the other person outside, the country devil outside, they stole the ballot box and carry, especially in Nima County these days. So you want to ask yourself, does it justify, or is it justifiable printing your election materials in Ghana and other places? We have printing press here, decent ones that are doing good works. So why are we still going to Ghana to print it? For me, I need somebody to make that make sense to me. But it is still not making sense to me, because the primary reason why people used to say, the government used to say, we go to Ghana and other countries to print our electoral materials, because they say because of security reasons, they want to protect the materials and all of that. But we come back to avoid interference or manipulation at the electoral at the election stats. But we still go and print those materials, seal them up, bring them to Liberia. We go to the different polling places. People start crying about ballot stuffing and all of that. So why do we go to Ghana to print? But that's a question NEC has to answer, and I think we need to start thinking about printing our materials in our own country, empowering Liberian businesses than going to Ghana, because it's useless. It's not making sense anymore. We're still having electoral issues, sensitive electoral matters, and all of that. But we'll go to Ghana to print. So it doesn't make sense. Probably with this amount could be reduced to $150,000-$170,000 if we can decide to print our materials in Monrovia. It's just a by-election in one electoral district. We don't have to go to Ghana to print ballot materials, ballot papers, and all of that, and seal them up and send them to Monrovia just for one district by-election, you know. And then I'm going to play you the ministry. We've been postponing this Ministry of Education thing. We have to clear everything this week now and put all those things behind us. The Ministry of Education, announced last week, 2 weeks ago, that they were suspending street parades. And there's been this debate about, some people are saying, no, it's not necessary, it's not timely, it's not appropriate, and all of that. But I have an opinion that may seem unpopular, but that's my opinion. And that's me, You see, because of time, I will not play the recording, but I will share an experience with you and tell you why I think, even if the ban is a temporary one, it gives, or you'll be able to give, the Ministry of Education along with the Liberia National Police to review or observe, the terrain, and actually allow sit with stakeholders to restructure or make some technical adjustments in how street parades are carried out if the government will be able to lift the ban. But I mean 100% support of the government banning street parades from the high schools celebrating gala days. I share a couple of experiences with you. I live in the Broadway area. And I have complained to some of my police friends from Zone 6. Street parades are not really guarded, properly guarded. And what is even more disgusting is the fact that, look, you go to, for example, St. Paul Bridge, you see these schools parading. For me, I don't have problem with the traffic that the parades cause. No. A lot of people say, yeah, they can cause traffic. Trust me, I do not have any problem with the parades that with the traffic that these parades cause. No, I don't have problem with them. I'm able to sit in patience, and the people create way to pass them and go to my destination. So I don't have problem with the traffic. But here's my problem. Like I said, one, is not properly guarded. Two, you don't see the few parades you will see with state security officers. You don't see them enough to be able to control the traffic flow and protect the kids, especially the kids. The other day, I had to use the opposite lane because a school was drilling just after I came from my house, branch on a main road. And you see 2-3-year-old kids in the street. Some, their parents are on the side. Some, they don't even have parents. The teachers are not even enough to guard the kids. Are not enough to guard the kids on the main road. You see the motorbikes guy going so, and they have to cross. In some cases, they have to get on the main quota. Parade from Iron Gate, for example. Go to Redhill, turn around and come back. That road is risky. And most of the parades can be done during weekends. Weekends, more people can be in alcohol in this country. The roads are busy in this country on weekends. The roads are busy. More people are chilling. Even the very students still carry out their different Friday, even though the name is not that popular again as how they used to call the Friday before, Super Friday. The very students are chilling. What are the high school students, the university students, the working people? Everybody is chilling on Friday. The streets and the roads are busy on Fridays and Saturdays. So you see, that's another risk. People with different things, with different substances in them, they're using the main road, plying them. When you see the speed that some of these motorbike riders can be on when these schools are drilling, when you see the speed that some of these vehicles can be on when these schools are parading, to the extent that the schools or the security guards who are trying to provide guidance for these schools parading, they can intentionally deploy strategies to block the traffic for like 10-15 feet ahead. Intentionally blocking the traffic to slow down vehicles or moving objects on the road because they are not enough to provide guidance, and these cars can be over speeding, so they have to deploy some strategies that will slow them down at least 10-15 feet away. The other day, they rushed one queen to the hospital. Did they get won the queen contest? I'm sure she should be between 5 to 6 years old. Took that lay child, put that lay child on top of the vehicle. Put that lay child on top of the vehicle. 4 to 5 year old child. And guess what? The child slipped from the vehicle. The only thing that blessed her is that there were other people on the side of the vehicle, but on the back, they were able to hold her. But still, she went down on her head, and they were able to hold her by her feet and pull her back up, and she went off. She fainted, probably out of shock and they had to rush her to the hospital. The adults, what I would have suggested to the Ministry of Education if I was seated in that room, and that's the only problem I have with the Ministry of Education that I must say here. In my mind, the Ministry of Education, prior to announcing that ban, should have met with stakeholders and school administrators. In my mind, again, prior to announcing the ban, the Ministry of Education, because that is a policy. It's a policy. So as a government, when you're announcing policy, it's good to test the policy. Besides testing the policy, it's always good to have conversation with stakeholders. Gentlemen, we want to ban the parade, street parade. I'm sure there will have been suggestions coming from the stakeholders. For example, I was sharing with a school administrator from Lokiri. I said, I think the Ministry of Education should reconvene or convene a meeting with stakeholders and make some adjustments, technical adjustments. That's why earlier on I said, probably the Ministry of Education can observe and then make the necessary technical adjustments for some other reasons. Now, based on my observation of my experience, I think the Ministry of Education should restrict the ban. So we could place them in categories here. Elementary schools, school going children, maybe on certain ages, in certain level, y'all keep the children from junior high down, y'all keep them y'all keep them from the main road. If you're elementary school or junior high school and you want to have a parade, please take the parade to a pitch or an open field because they consider underage. And at least from 10th grade to 12th grade, the senior high division, yes, you can encourage senior high division or senior high schools, to parade in the street. Probably that could have been a suggestion to the Ministry of Education. Because I am concerned about the kids. So I will suggest in that room that, hey, keep the kids off the street from parading in the street. Send the adults there. So we say senior high division or high school, good. But from junior high down, no. Because man, you have these alumni associations all around here. They are grown up people. They normally love to parade, go back for old time's sake and thing, interact, reflect. 40-year, 50-year people, you see them in high school uniform, they parading, reflecting on their days in high school. Those people, reasonably, they are able to control themselves. And on the average, between the average of 80 to 95%, I think most of them may not even need police officers because they were able to control themselves. Maybe you need a few officers to set some traffic indicators. So a meeting with stakeholders would have properly informed the Ministry of Education. But the ban is in its entirety, I think there should have been an adjustment. But if the ban is temporary, 100% support. So we give the Ministry of Education the space to review, to observe, and then make some technical adjustments, maybe categorize them and see who all can be allowed to parade, who all cannot be allowed to parade for different safety reasons. Because I'm sure no police officer wants to see 2-year-old child on the main road parading. I'm sure no police officer wants. It's probably a safety issue too. We have to consider that. Any moving object could just run into the crowd. Any car could just lose brake and run into the crowd. We have many defective vehicles these days. The brakes are not good and all of that. You have the kids parading. The adults may be able to easily escape. They can run. They can navigate our ways too. But okay, you put 2-year-old child, 3-year-old child, you play 3-year-old children on the road to go parade, and one vehicle lose brake from up. Maybe tire shaving or coming back down, and the kids are already around Carano. How do you rescue them? That's public safety issue. So again, a meeting of stakeholders or with stakeholders who are properly, created an environment for everybody to sit down and properly analyze it and then make a decision. But I think, yeah, that's the only school thing. Now, I'm tempted to play an audio recording, but it's unedited, so I think I have to. Yes. The matter involving this Funati Kofa case will provide an update. I know Saturday I got a call and the person went to me to give me some information. And part of the information was that, you see, before I say it, let me advise. I don't have about caution the police, state security. The entire world is aware that Funati Kofa case is political. It's not legal. The entire world is aware. So the government of Liberia does not have any reason to. You can't convince anybody now. No reasonable man, even the very people wearing green t-shirt with UP only, they are aware that the case is political. So you can't convince anybody at this moment that the case involving Funati Kofa and those lawmakers that the case is not political. The case is 100% a political matter. So you see, when serious institutions release report questioning the independence of the judiciary, which we're going to spend all of our time talking about tomorrow, that's part of the reason, because the judiciary is used by the executive, they are arm twisted, and used to go after their political opponents. That's part of the lack of independence in the judiciary that these our partners are talking about. Because the Funati Kofa case is 100% political. The entire world everybody right now at this point is aware that the case is political. State security people, they're messing up. They messed up. And every time I say that, I say to all of you, I say, this case is finished. The case is messed up, and the government does not have rack evidence. You know what I can always say? The government does not have rack evidence to prove anything against all of those who've been arrested, including the ones who've been indicted and the ones who have not been indicted. The government doesn't have evidence, and they know that we know. Some of us are aware that they don't have evidence. Now, what they're doing is even more risky. Because when you jump my man will beg you, man, please can go testify against Funati Kofa. Then the man say, no, I beg you. Oh, the people can say I should go testify. They just grab them, you put that one in jail. Go to the other person. My man will beg you back. You close to Sibo. Please can go testify against them. The man say, no, I beg you. My hand is I don't know about that case, and I can go incriminate myself and get nothing to talk. When the judge or the start questioning me on our witness stand, then I'm confused. I don't even know what to say because it had to lie. And my hand is then they do you, it's teaching you. Then they put you in, they carry you one guest on and say, they carry the other people to the other. Now I'm calling the guest on in. Yeah, before they take the money from them. Then they go to another witness again. So what they're doing is they arrested people, indicted some of them, no evidence. Then they are finding evidence now. Now, when the case left the civil law court, you saw the case went way up to the criminal court A, right? So the indictment should have been June, and then the criminal court A begin the case, the trial. Because the government lawyers do not have any evidence to convince the folks at criminal court A to draw up an indictment, because the grand jury has to review the evidence that you say you have to convince us to draw up an indictment. Because if what you call evidence is not strong enough, we're not going to waste the court time. We'll throw it out. So that's why you see they are looking for evidence now. Witnesses all around the place. There's the evidence. Why the witnesses? They don't have any. So they're looking for witnesses to go and testify against people. As part of their delay, they went to criminal court A and say, hey, the Judge Bago qualified the bond that he qualified. that we did not argue. We carry on to you criminal code A. We won't argue the bond. The bond does not meet certain legal requirements. Because they don't want to go to criminal code A to go argue bond. Criminal code A ain't get jurisdiction to argue bond. They play where they have to send them back to the civil law court. Yeah? So criminal code A send them back. Say, okay, y'all go back to the civil law court. They went back to the civil court. So the time they will take the movement down there, go back to the civil court, the court go argue. The two lawyers go sit down again, arguing, oh, the bond is qualified, oh, the bond is not qualified, oh, at time they saving. That's why you see they are intensifying, they are delaying the case, in deploying delay tactics in the courts, and then intensifying the lobby amongst people who are close to Dixon Sibo them to convince them, pay them money to go and testify. So right now as we speak, they have 4 persons already they are talking to. We're not calling their names. We're not saying anything about it, but we are following the discussions. They've arrested and called in additional 4 persons that they are talking to, convincing them, inducing them, offering them money to go and serve as state witness or state witnesses again against Sibo and Kufadem. Yeah? Who are those engaging? Johnny Boladin, Simeon Frank. Simeon Frank spearheaded this investigation of the police. Simeon Frank spearheaded this investigation at the police. So what evidence did he gather that he turned over to Gregory Como that convinced Gregory Como to go and convene a press conference and announce to the world that the government has sufficient evidence, preponderance of evidence to prove or find these guys guilty, and they are still chasing people looking for evidence and looking for people to go and testify? Simon Frank is one of. Imagine you sit down and investigate a case. You say you gather evidence, you package the evidence, send to Ministry of Justice to review the evidence if they did. Ministry of Justice review the evidence if they did. You come back, you charge. Because you know, after charging, you sending the people to the court for indictment. You charge, you send them to court. Time to indict the people. Where your evidence? Then you go back and you say, please, we go look for the evidence. Wasting people time, humiliating and intimidating decent people for no reason. And they say they're politics. So now Johnny Boladin, Simon Frank, according to our information, Christopher Hayes Onanuga, and 2 other persons. The two other persons, I will not mention their names on there for a reason. So now Johnny Boladin, they got 4 persons. So Johnny Boladin, Simon Frank, Chris Onanuga, according to our information now, they have those people they're talking to. Last week, Wednesday, they went for a relative of Christian Kofa. They call him Lawrence Kofa. Those of you from Nikutan who have been there around and went to school there, you will know Lawrence Kofa. Lawrence Kofa is an LC instructor, long-time instructor. I didn't go to school in Nikutan, but I know him from Nikutan because I lived in Nikutan before. So, Lawrence Kofa now is a relative to Christian Kofa. So on last week, Wednesday, Lawrence Kofa was invited by 106, Johnny Boladin and Simeon Frank them. They took phone and called Lawrence Kofa and invited him to the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Why did they invite Lawrence Kofa at the Liberia National Police headquarters? They invited him there because they want him to convince Christian Kofa to agree to testify as a witness against Dixon Sibo and Fonati Kofa. So they say, since that other man, John Yanti, refused, he called his brother and uncle and talked to him. Uncle talked to him, he refused. Okay. Christian Kofa is John Yanti's best friend, Bully. Christian Kofa said, yeah, they made him my friend. They mentioned you're traveling, I escorted him. So what? Because I escorted him, so what? So what I do now? Because by escorting my friend said he traveling, I escorted him. And I'm not lying, I'm not hiding, I escorted him. And if he come out to do tomorrow and say he traveling again, I will escort him. So what's the issue? The whole Christian Kofa. They say, but then say that my friend, say that John Yanti's friend, we can use him and gave him money, induced him to just say yes. John Yanti didn't know about this case because my friend, he had told about it. Then they put you on recording. Boom. Just go to court and go lie. That's all. Because of the resistance Christian Kofa was wearing, his family were all on the radio talking, complaining they don't have access to their family member. They want to see their family member. The pressure was on the police. Hey, then they call in Lawrence Kofa, Christian Kofa's uncle. They said, Lawrence, mommy, you have to talk to your picking. This case, the government has interest in this case. The government cannot go to lose this case. The president will be publicly disgraced and shamed. We can't sit down and shame the president. The president has already said, this is awesome. We have to prove beyond anything we can do to prove it. So they invited Lawrence Kofa at the police headquarters on Wednesday last week. Lawrence went there and had a meeting with 106, 103, and the rest of the other folks. The conversation that is ongoing with Lawrence Kofa, it can appear like the John Yanti scenario. It will soon appear like the John Yanti scenario because one group might agree, one group might not agree. So the family will say, no, we're begging you, stay all our thing. So Lawrence Kofa is the one being talked to convince Christian Kofa to hold the money and testify against Funantiden. Somebody who does not know anything about the case. He's not even a person of interest. Then you go for a person, somebody who was not even a person of interest. Say, yeah, I can't testify, you know about the case. Was he on the scene? No. Did he participate in the protest? No. Was he even around for the protest? No. So what the man know he can't go testify about? The only thing he knows is John Yanti that my friend. So when you say anything, yes, we can use it against John Yanti then and extend it to Funanti then. So just hold the money and say what we tell you to say. The left Christian stay talking to him with Lawrence. They went for additional 4 persons. Will not say anything about those 4 persons. But what we can say to that is that, hey, every step the police takes, in this investigation, we are on top of information. And we will continue to say to you that, hey, the police does not have anything. They ain't got rack. The government ain't get rack. Government say they ain't get a jing thing. A jing thing they don't have against these people. It's all politics. Why Funadi had to tell Joe Baga, no, I can't step down. I will be speaker. And he went and contested and became speaker. Even when he became speaker, Baga said, Funati step down. And I want to work with you as speaker. Bridget could confirm and say, yes, we want a regime speaker. And Funati crammed there. Hey, politics people can disagree. I do not have problem with Baga not wanting to work with, Funati. No, that's his government. He's the president. But if you do not want to work with somebody, you can force the person to leave his job now because of you. Go get it for the non-votes and remove the man. And you could not get for the non-votes to remove the man. You feeling telling the man, I don't want to work with you. I want a regime speaker. The regime speaker could not get for the non-votes. Then you get versed with the man. You say, I will fight Funati until I make sure I kill him. Because that's what you're doing. He want to won his case and resign the job. And say, you're taking your job now. Now that I have won the case, that I have proven that everything you did on the record, the court will say was illegal. That all I want proof. I resign, you're taking your job. That Heti Baka. Why Funati had to go to court and prove a case against Baka to the world that Baka. He collaborated with the legislature to violate the Constitution, to disrespect the Supreme Court ruling. That hurting Baka, because every time he goes outside, people were asking him questions. The international, his friends out there, our friends out there, our foreign partners were concerned. They were asking these questions. That thing angered Joe Baka. That pain in Baka. That pain in him today. Why Funati exposed me? But why he couldn't raise 49 signatures and remove the adjustment within the confines of the perimeters of our laws? Hence, where we are today, we have what we have today. So you need to know as an update, this case ain't going nowhere. Ain't got nothing against the people. It's just ushering. Now, let's go to the legislature, folks. This is our main conversation tonight. I've been around for a while. And we have seen a lot that a country of decent leaders who seek to prioritize auditing the legislature. It is disgraceful. It is irresponsible. It is reckless. It's broad day carelessness. It's disgusting. It's evil. That people who are supposed to be responsible will intentionally choose to ignore established laws and protocols and state and governance standards to accommodate their selfish feelings. To the extent that no president who mustered the political will that has authority over the executive to say, hey, GSC will go in there and audit that house. President Seli did not have the political will to tell her GSC to go in there and audit. The only person who had that political will and the bravery and was willing to audit that house was John Molu, and he didn't stay long there. They had to dismiss him. The legislators had issue with John Molu. Eddie had issue with John Molu because the legislators had issue with him. John Molu had to resign and left the country and went. George Weah came there. The GSC did not muster any courage to audit the legislature. Weah left. Baga is there. Baga is already whether we have one branch. You got Baga and the legislature that one branch. The executive and the legislature that one branch. So it's the worst. It's the worst. And this is no politics. This is reality. This is reality. The legislature and the executive are one branch. They have formed one branch of government. So we have two branches of government right now in our country. Practically, technically, or on the books, we have three branches of government. Practically, in practical sense, we have two branches of government in our country. The legislative and the executive branches of government are one. And then you have the judiciary that is even experiencing 60% influence from the executive. So maybe that 1.5 branch of government will get that 1.5. Because a significant portion of the judiciary is influenced by the executive. A significant portion of the judiciary is influenced by the executive. So we have 1.5 branch of government in our country. Let's read a couple of texts about the amendment and then we'll go into our discussion. This is what let's bring you this one. So this is under the caption Democracy Wash. Audit the legislature now. Representative Musa Belete challenges President Bouaka to prove commitment to justice. Fonati did not want audit. That was part of the reason they say they were removing Fonati. That he was announcing audit, and in essence, he was fighting GSC. GSC people are still here. They said Fonati was fighting the GSC auditors. Fonati is not speaker. Rejeku is speaker. All of us are supposed to gather and say, audit the legislature, the man who was stopping the audit in the legislature, is no longer there. You who claim to have wanted you who claim to have won the audit or to have wanted the audit, now you're in charge. What is stopping the audit? There should be the conversation now. Fonanti said it was lie. They were lying on him that he was not stopping any audit. We said, no, Fonanti, we are not listening to you. It is true. We believe it. You are stopping the audit. Fonanti is not there. They changed all the committees. So there should be no problem with auditing the legislature, especially the House. So I agree with Benedict. If President Bouaka is sincerely committed to the fight against corruption, if he's sincerely committed to enhancing transparency and improving our accountability drive, then he must muster the courage to call on the GSC to go in there and audit that place. That's it. Now we have a regime speaker. Yomdi Kangan Lawrence and Rachel Kun say yes sir to you. They're answerable to you. So they should not be refusing to subject themselves to an audit. This is just one. Now, when you sit down here, imagine recently, let me see, I think it's these people reporting, I think it's Spoon reported that $1.4 million spent on the PAC in the legislature. These are huge monies. Let me open it and read for you what their own Spoon is reporting. Yeah, and I'll read some of the comments on the post 3 days ago. Oh, Spoon TV, Spoon News, their own platform, their campaign for them. They said over US 1.4 million spent on joint public accounts audit and expenditure committee of the legislature. Today, the House of Representatives announced that the public accounts audit and expenditure committee has commenced a 3-day retreat at the Farmington Hotel. The purpose of the retreat is to validate its consolidated reports and prepared for the resumption of public hearings in 2025. The retreat, which runs from Thursday to Saturday, brings together lawmakers, technical staff, and key stakeholders, including the General Auditing Commission, represented by Deputy Auditor General Wesley Yankan. The Joint Public Accounts Committee, Accounts Audit and Expenditure Committee is tasked with overseeing the in 2024 national budget. US $738,312 was allocated to the committee. The same amount was appropriated in the 2025 national budget, resulting in a total of US $1.4 million or $1,476,624 for the committee hearings. The good thing about it is that the committee is chaired by my good friend Clarence Guy. So 1.4 million just on committee for the committee to do her work. For a committee to do her work, $1.4 million spent on a committee to do her work. The House, Spoon is reporting that at the House, so they are quoting the House. They said they spent $1.4 million on the Joint Public Accounts Committee audits and expenditure to do her work. That's just one. You go to Grand Bassa, you hear that lawmakers, Yombi have been in the Senate all along and been chair of the caucus. I posted on my Facebook page and you saw the post. 5 key projects in Grand Bassa since 2017. Those projects were started in 2017. The projects remain incomplete, they are unfinished and neglected. But records show that they spent over $700,000 on those projects, but the projects still remain incomplete. Not just that, the very lawmakers are causing behind Mitasti. Records show that Mitasti even pay all their corporate social responsibilities all Grand Bassa. Where is the money? Where did the money go? Why are those projects not completed? When social development funds were paid to you, info, Midasti Ogren Basso rack. So where did the money go? 1.2, 1.5 million dollars in no small money. Where did the money go? That's why the other day we posted, and we're going to call on the GSC. Look, the GSC will have to audit that whole transaction. And I believe that those lawmakers are anywhere you see lawmakers, the issue of a lack of accountability and transparency will be there. Why our lawmakers hate accountability? Why they get so angry when they hear transparency? As soon you call the war audit in Capitol building, no lawmaker wants to speak to you again. No lawmaker wants to speak to you because you mentioned audit. But those are the people who say they want to be exercising oversight over the executive. And when ministers or heads of spending entities do not comply with their request, they get angry and they want to hold you in contempt. You see why our country is not going anywhere? I gave you a story or a background, folks. I give you a background. The reason why you see I'm bringing up this conversation today is because I heard the speaker crying, calling on partners, begging international partners to aid the house. They say they want to modernize the house. So I heard Richard, we need money, we need support to modernize the house and all of that. Folks, I tell you this story. Over 19 years, I post that is on my Facebook page, so most of you knew what I was going to talk about. Since post-war Liberia began in 2006, governance now. Capitol building. Imagine 19 years we cannot renovate or repair or change the elevator in the Capitol building. The building remains unfriendly to the people living with disabilities. LEC, Capitol building, after 19 years, Capitol building does not have stable electricity. Don't tell me because LEC is not stable. Capitol building get money to buy generator, to run generator. Use LEC in the day and have a generator as a standby. So that in the night, that building can be fully electrified. Our public buildings are dark at night. Like we have animals presiding over the state. That's how it appears to me. That we have people who are conscious presiding over the state. Because to sit and see that people, you got heads of entities and public buildings are in darkness at night. It just does not make sense. It doesn't make, I'm still trying to fathom. It's something that resembles reasoning. Yeah. That public buildings will be dark at night. And we say we got people on the payrolls called security. What are they securing in the dark? What are they securing in the dark? The people in darkness, it means they should even be securing their own lives. The Capitol building does not have stable electricity. Capitol building does not have security. The police headquarters right next here. Go to Capitol building tonight. You will not find one human be there. We're gone. When police headquarters right here, just adjacent the Capitol building, and you can get one police officer at Capitol building at night. And we are disgracing ourselves as a country, chasing people political opponents and things talking about Capitol building got burned. Some people bring Capitol building in the net, all of that. Right next to police station, and we're not even ashamed of ourselves. The serving the social scene that Donaldson spoke about in a sermon in 1925. And the last one that I spoke about, and I said, these are things that form part of Liberia, regular politician. The last one who spoke about politics without principles. The seven social sin that Donaldson spoke about, preached about, clamours a sermon in 1925. Political politics without principle. This is what we see right now in our country. No principle, no standard, no value, no morale, no moral, no integrity, nothing, no stand, no quality. Public servants, public officials, they lack qualities, they lack standards, they lack integrity, they lack morality. They don't have principles for themselves. They're not principle minded. That's why when you talk about other things, the legislature, lawmakers get angry. They're willing to remove you as speaker or deputy speaker, or even if you are a minister, the day Jesus said, if we don't order the house, I will not move from here. P. Gasol Jackson, I will not move from here. Watch it, they will start fighting him. They will start fighting. Imagine lawmakers, 103 human beings elected by the people sitting up there in that dirty building. The people are crying, telling them, hey, we need that house to be audited. 103 human beings said, no, we're not auditing the place. Since 2005, they said, we can't audit this place. And we begging people for money. Look, it is, I don't know, but you see, wealth without work. And work comes in many ways. Our lawmakers are not working for the wages they're getting from the Capitol building. They are not working for it. The wealth they are acquiring from Capitol building, they are not working for it. That's the first social sin, according to Donaldson. Tell me, what kind of work the men are doing for the wealth they have? They are acquiring from Capitol building. What kind of work they doing? Pleasure without conscience. The second social sin, pleasure without conscience. See these lawmakers, the opulence that they are living in. They are so satisfied, they are so complacent, they are pleased with the lives they are living. What the people, the vast majority of the people live in abject poverty, extreme poverty. People going to bed hungry tonight. These lawmakers do not have conscience. They are pleased with their lives. They are pleased with their living condition. They are pleased with their corrupt selves. No conscience. And the people going to bed hungry. They're pleased. They are satisfied. Even when we say the money we gave you, and we beg you just call GSC in. Let GSC account for the money we gave you. They say no. Pleasure without conscience. We pay your money. 1.4 million spent in 2024 on the PSC, just on a committee in the house. And we say, hey, y'all were pleased to receive the money. Y'all were pleased to spend the money. Y'all were pleased to allocate and allot the money. Today we say, just audit, account for the money. They say, no, we're not accounting. Conscience. It's not there. You're pleased, you're satisfied with the way you are spending our money, the way we are paying, we are splashing our monies on you. You are pleased. Now the conscience is supposed to tell you the monies that are being splashed in the house, we are supposed to be under the moral obligation to account for these monies. That's the consciousness we're talking about in the pleasure that you have or you find yourself in. So Donaldson said the second social sin, pleasure without conscience. That's exactly where our lawmakers found themselves. And the third social sin is that knowledge without character. Going capital building. Who is the speaker? The speaker is Richard Kuhn, right? Richard Kuhn came to you publicly and said, we are violating the Constitution. We are violating our rules. We are disrespecting the Supreme Court ruling. Eh? But by not following all these rules laid down to remove Fonati, we now want him. Eh? We now want him. Knowledge without character. That's knowledge without character. People are educated. They don't have standard for themselves. That character is rotting, stink, dirty. They got knowledge. Richard Kuhn is an instructor. Look at the people who were leading the illegal removal of Fonati in our house. Almost all of them went to university to acquire education. Some of them are in law school, some of them are law school graduates. But they say we take character, we put it in our, we take our character, we throw it down, we step on it. I don't want to say the thing I wanted to say. And you know, there's no character. They have knowledge. A man sit down and say, read Supreme Court say, actions you took. All actions that were taken prior to or after the removal of Fonati, the illegal removal, that the removal is ultra viral. Like man sit down and say, yeah, we know what the woman saying. We're going misinterpret it because our politics. No character. No character. People with character will say, no, let's sit down, let's just review the ruling, give it to a lawyer. Lawyer give us sincere advice. But the lawmakers themselves were dictating to the Minister of Justice what to do. Say, no, write an interpretation for us that we are going to use to continue over our fight in a place. So the Justice Minister had no thing but to write an opinion. It's not politics. The lawmakers themselves, because if a lawmaker can go to or could have gone to the extent of telling an associate justice that the thing is interpretation of what they wrote, that King Jews taught in the King Jews shot and said it. And associate justice said that King Jews taught. So what do you think the guys were doing? I mean, they were disrespecting everybody, everything, all this, the entire structure of the government. They disrespected all. Politics. Knowledge without character. Politics without conscience. Pleasure, sorrow without conscience. Wealth without work. And then politics without principle. Who told you you can play politics? But the politics has to be guided by principles. It has to be guided by standards. And the principles are set by our laws that we pass. The principles are set by the laws we pass. So we use our laws to establish our principles that will guide us into our governance process. That's how a decent society, that's how a civilized society is supposed to work. That we use our laws as a foundation to establish principles, to establish standards that will guide us. We go to school. I like to reference the churches and the mosques. But we're not guided by any principle. Politics without principle. That's why they don't want an audit. They don't want an audit, and they will still say politics. But the politics has to be guided by principle. Because the politics you play is intended to drive governance. You play politics towards governance. Because when the things you do in your politics, they start toward, or they should be directed towards enhancing growth, improving governance. The politics, the allocations we make. Those of us who are students of public finance, the allocations we make. Yes, we say, oh, the budget here is a political tool. Granted. But the debate of the political tool should be guided by principle, by conscience, by standard. Yes, it's a political tool, we know that. But that political tool, the decisions we make after debating or while debating that political tool is always supposed to be directed or tailored in the direction of improving the livelihoods and the living conditions of our people. That's the principal aspect about the politics. We can play the politics, though. No, my man, we're not going to send 500,000 to show number 2. No. I need money. My man will send 200,000 to your place. We send 200,000 to my place. That politics there, the negotiations, the debate, that's the politics. But where the politics leads you, you see the principle? You see the principle there? You see the principle there? You see the conscience you applied just now? You see the conscience? You are looking for political pleasure. But while debating the budget, the political tool. But in that debate, you say, hey, even though I'm pleased that 500,000 is allotted to my district, but I'm not the only lawmaker now. Why I can't listen to for the farmer there who tell me no, that's that. I mean, the 300 and we send 200 to a because I'm been living in a district too now. Conscience is working there. But he said, no, let me know, you CDC lawmaker, we're not sending no money in that district for the whole 6 years. For the entire 6 years. Eh? Where is your conscience? That people, he might be living there. The lawmaker like just one man with a CDC barrier or tag on him. But there are seditious and United Palestinians living in that CDC lawmaker district. Where is your conscience? You bury your conscience. That is supposed to remind you by telling you that, hey, they may is a CDC lawmaker, but there are United Palestinians there living there too. They said, no, they may are CDC lawmaker. We are not allocating any money in your district. Forgetting to know that the decision is going to affect everybody living in the district. Where is the conscience? Pleasure without conscience. Politics without principle. Knowledge without character. We have to audit the legislature. I remember the Capitol building, no LDC, no security, no water. Can you imagine? Capitol building does not have running water. You go down there, you see people toting water in buckets, in gallons, and claiming the stairs. Toting water. Folks, those of you in the diaspora, we are in 2025. We are in 2025. 2025, in the 21st century, our Capitol building, they toting water in dirty buckets, in dirty gallons, and carrying them upstairs. After 19 years, we cannot pour running water in Capitol building. We cannot pour the people to even buy a generator at standby. Freedom FM, struggling Freedom FM, can buy a generator and a photo maintain generator. Capitol building said after 19 years, it is unable to purchase a generator, a maintain generator at night to keep that place shining. That whole place, nothing see what happening there because so demon. It's a hard ass. That building is a hard ass for demon. Because when the place is dark, the witchcraft and wizards will go there. The demons will go there to live there because the place is dark. And witchcraft people in there, they let darkness. So, since the place is dark, all of them will just go there. That's why that place, nothing serious can come from all of that place. All day they're fighting over money, brown envelope, so noise, calling one government entity person to come here, contempt. Now all we hear from that building, contempt, full of no confidence, budget recast, this one, public hearing, invitation to one official. That's all we hear from these people. No real program, democratic program, no real governance issue is being discussed in Capitol building with impact that you can see, visible impact that you can see. That's all we hear, because people do not want to be responsible. See the building. Hey man, how long does it take if a private citizen can have water, running water in his house? You won't tell me Capitol building lawmakers where millions are being ditched, are being splashed all across the place. After every 3 years, we give $45,000 to one man to buy a car. After every 3 years, we give one man $45,000 to buy a car. But guess what? When we give buy a car, for example, they don't maintenance on a vehicle. They will pay everything. We give him gas for the car we buy for him. We buy driver. We pay driver for the car we buy for him. To take telephone and call, we gave him scratch car. Nothing coming from his salary. Then after 3 years, we have to buy them another car. And we cannot afford to buy a generator for Capitol building that will not even cost you more than $25,000. You go buy one or two of these wasting machines, you can supply the whole Capitol building, depending on the KVA, the capacity. So you won't tell me the Senate can buy one and the House buy one. You giving lawmaker $2,000 gas every month. You can't afford to put fuel in the generator to keep the Capitol building on at night. That one again, we must beat you for it and cause you for it. Lawmakers, tonight, if possible, this whole week, we own this Capitol building. We want to see that building lettered up at night, doing nights at time. That building will be lettered up, and we are not going to stop until the people can put money in the budget and buy generator to substitute for LDC. They have to call LDC down there to go and do connection and put lights. Street lights should be planted in Capitol building. From all the entrances, the street lights are there. They are there. Call LDC people to go or get any frame to go and redo the wiring in the building there. Host the flags and put all the lights on. You see that place will look so beautiful at night. All the light posts, they all spoil. The wiring system scatter. The only time you see light to that place when there is a State of the Nation address or there is an inauguration program. How we treating our public buildings? A group of irresponsible, reckless, useless people. You go to their homes, they have kids. Some of them have wives. They got kids, children living with them. See where they go to work. See where they go to work. Look, we can't be this useless. And I hear my man Richard Kuhn telling people they can't get him money to go modern the Capitol building, their house. You think I would tell you every day. You know why I love the Americans? The Americans had their feelings. I remember there was a conversation on doing Eric Style and I started doing Eric Style about modern as in the legislature. High definition equipment were given to that building. Ask them where are those equipment. Ask them where are those equipment. Cameras, microphone, standing microphone, desk microphone. Those of the reporters who cover Capitol building then you had a microphone, desk microphones in the house. In the Senate where I cover, you had the electronic voting system. Where in the Senate, the electronic voting system, it was in our Senate. Abache was pro tem. The Abache is there? Yeah, Abache was pro tem. Yes. The electronic voting system was in that Senate installed through UC and Warpen and other people. And UC. In that building, the electronic voting system was there. I was covering Capitol building. We stood there with some people voting. We had recognize people. You gotta put your hand up. for the protein to see you. Just press the button. It will reflect on the bowl. About the protein got a whole dashboard ready for him. All the seats, the whole thing is set for him. So when you press the seat, District 16 representative or Muscle County representative, Senator Darius Dillon, it will ready for Abache, ready for him. He say he watching the bowl. He even got to look. Does he put nobody here or Benin? That system was in the Senate. I covered the Senate. It was there. Where are those equipment? Abache is still in the Senate. They must be made to account for these things. Because I'm not saying they say, I'm saying I was there. I saw it. We followed the installation. It was there. After the installation, everything, it was dedicated. They started using the electronic voting system. You sit down to your seat, just press the button. So all those who want to, Abache get the protein guy a big dashboard. If he looking at it, he start recognizing you. No putting here up in it. How come we all install everything from in the Senate? Because we do not want transparency. Imagine a lawmaker goes and vote on an issue. He comes outside, he asking, what did you vote? I mean, where did you vote? Which direction did you vote? He said, no, my vote is secret. Capital Benin, he said, vote, your vote is secret. They do not even want to tell you whether they voted for a bill or against a bill or a budget. They don't want to tell you. What kind of people will say down there? You go in a place and made a decision. Come outside to tell people why, which direction you voted. You say no. You don't want to. Because of that, we were reporting lawmakers and the direction, the instruments that they were voting for and against. They made it uninstall the whole equipment from the Senate because they didn't want journalists to be reporting about the direction in which they voted. They all installed all the equipment from the Senate. The House, I didn't cover the House. I was assigned in the Senate. But I used to go as a legislative reporter. We didn't have borders. We didn't have boundaries. So at times I would run to the House and follow that. The House had that thing, the electronic voting. Now, I don't know whether they had electronic voting, but I know they had a desk microphone. Well, each lawmaker, you gotta be roaming microphone from one desk to another desk. You be on your desk, your microphone on. You want to, press a button, you put your microphone on. And it will register to the speaker, this person who's presiding. And all those who will put a microphone on, the speaker will know. And he recognizes you. So, no, you are not roaming microphone. No, carry a microphone to the man. One lawmaker stand and he hold the microphone to talk. He finished talking. He said, I'm not giving the microphone. Then, no star in the house. No, everybody, you sit down, your microphone to you. You go in the house. And not there again. Who uninstalled those equipment? Why they uninstalled those equipment? Up to now, we don't know. And the very people who were in the house, they are still there. Eddie Stala was speaker. He's a senator now. Imai Nugo was speaker. He's a senator now. Yeah. Bova Chimo was a representative. He became speaker. They're all around. Where are those equipment? To the extent that you say, you know what? We will sponsor 60% to modernize the house, the legislature. The banner 40, you will divide it 20%. So if that 100,000, we use it, we give 60,000. Excuse me. We use it, we give 60,000. The House will give 20,000. Then the Senate will give 20,000. For example. Guess what? You say pay. You say that money, when you get your own money, you can. You say how money keeping, you know they put money there, they time bound there. You say how money keeping, the House and the Senate could not comply or commit. They are 20,000. You said, but they tell me you ready. Deborah Malak, U.S. ambassador, wrote a sensitive letter to the two wings. To the Senate and the House. Today, me and somebody were doing research. We're trying to get the communication, but I'm sure we'll get it tomorrow. Or a story, we're going to pull up an article. But I really wanted that letter. I don't know where I place it. And I said, him asking. Deborah Malak wrote a damning letter to the Senate and the House She blasted them for not living up to their part of the agreement. U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, Deborah Mala, lawmakers who were in that place, asked them, talk to legislators. They wrote them to imagine to, hey, the money you're bringing, we use it, we give 60%. The House bring 20, the Senate bring 20. The people money sitting there, the legislature could not raise that money. That's how irresponsible our lawmakers have been for long. For long. That woman had to read that letter. In fact, she didn't just read the letter, she went there and held meetings with the two leadership and blasted them in the meeting. And she told them that this was unnecessary. Not only that, in 2020, after the 2020 election, after the 2020 senatorial election that Darius did not won, you say again came and expressed interest in working with those people. They got a committee, a bipartisan set up in the US. It's called the HDP. The HDP, the House Democracy Partnership. Yes. Those of you in the US, the House Democracy Partnership is a bipartisan setup that exists in the US, in Congress. Now, what they do is that they partner with struggling democrats to provide technical guidance and capacity for struggling parliaments and legislatures. That's what they do, to provide technical guidance, technical support to these parliaments and legislatures that are struggling. And that support comes in different forms. Training, everything. We name people that benefited from their training. They went to America. They let Joseph Nangme, may so rest in peace. They let Geraldine Doshevich, he won that training. Prince Moi, currently in the Senate, he won that training. Samuel Enos won that training. Rosalind Dennis won that training. Former Representative Gaya Kambo won that training. Akaros Gray won that training. Remember, Bruce Spencer won that training. Josephine Francis, former representative, won that training. Ben Fofana, former lawmaker, won that training. Rosanna Shacks, former lawmaker from River says, hence Bashu, the late may so recipes. Senator, I don't know what they don't win. I don't know. I'm not sure if they don't. But Ben Fofana, all those people, Prim Moine, Buffer Chimbos, Ben Fofana, Clarence Massacre, they all went on that training. Haja Fata Sanyo, they all went on that training. Some of their staffers, including the late Comis Che, at the time you were here for, I think, the engrossing office, Bureau engrossing office. They all went on that training. And that the House Democracy Partnership bipartisan setup for technical training. The people, you won't believe, the people set up the training. So the lawmakers, they say, we sit here, we'll do a visual thing, have a visual conversation. Guess what? The lawmakers, a day to the program, the lawmakers said they're not attending the program. The program should have run from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The minister said they're not attending the program. Why? The lawmakers ask the people for money. They say they will not attend that program at Farmington after the people pay for Farmington Hotel for 3 days. For those lawmakers to go down there for training, technical training, and their staff, the people say they're not going Farmington for 3 days with all money. The people were getting money, and they did not go to that program. The people were disappointed. Now, you feel doing all of these things to those people, those partners, they have your records. And you come back, Rachel Cool, you crying for support to the same people. The people know that you lawmakers are not serious people. They are not going to waste the time having these kinds of conversation with you. Because you're begging these people to come here and support you. These people, they're not sending their money here. They will come here, sit down with you, have a conversation, enter a partnership agreement that they will sponsor 60% or 70%, and you sponsor the remaining percentage. And if you cannot live up to your portion of the agreement, they will not give you that money. That's how they're looking. That's how they operate. So that crying, Rachel Kun crying, oh, we want to modernize the house. We want to do this. Hey, Rachel Kun, Speaker Kun, bro, you don't need to beg people to modernize that place. You don't. That's a disgrace. to buy high definition equipment and install them in a place that will not even cost you more than $1 million. That you going beg people for? I go to 1 million because 1 million can cover the whole Capitol building. Because look at the chief clerk office. Enter the chief clerk office. That place, you know what I mean? The office of the chief clerk. And there's no technology there. It's not even modern. Look, the whole Capitol building, no security camera, no CCTV camera, nothing. Inside, also of that building, to modernize that building, Richard Kun, they're not only the poor electronic voting system. It can start from the gate. That gate was looking dirty and rusted. That you're in chief for I don't know how many years. You pushing it to even open the gate. Imagine in 2025, the legislature is able to put sliding gate. You ain't able to put sliding gate down there, man. That will not even cost you more than $300 US to put sliding gate. I say put a security gate there with a detector. Where if you go can nobody can beat to the gate. As soon as you can, it open by itself. Don't put that one there. Just put the sliding gate with the iron tire on that. Oh, where the security can just roll it. It roll it open. They roll it by open. Look at the gate the ministry is using to that Capitol building. See the gate. Those guys are still using at that Capitol building. See the gate. So to say you want to modernize the building or the legislature, that only electronic voting thing we want down there. No. You have to electrify the whole building. It's part of modernity. It's part of, you keep talking modernity, they say we don't want to learn. Oh, we don't want to learn. That our building being in darkness. How do the equipment work and function? Because those equipment have to function 24/7, for example, if you have CC camera, which you need in a building. How do they work? If you say we don't want to learn, the only legislature in the world that say we don't want to learn. We want to learn. That the only legislature, the only Congress building in the whole world that say that ain't get learn. That Liberia. Sitting on UN Security Council, non-permanent seat, or Capitol building, now get CC camera, or Capitol building, now get running water, or Capitol building, now get security, or Capitol building, get stable electricity. Even clinic, a mini clinic for staff, all the places they got them. They got whole health department. Yes. Go to other parliamentary bodies. They got health department. Capitol building. These ones, at least, even if a mobile clinic, because visitors go down there, people go down there, they need first aid, people could feed, all these things, put them in place. Capitol building get ambulance. One lawmaker fainted in that building, folks. They had to rush that man in a car. Really go, move on the road. Capitol building get ambulance. You're debating, you got old people down there. Some people got most of them in that building, they got pressure. Most of them in that building, they got pressure. And the legislature you get one ambulance in a year for emergency to rush people to hospital. Lawmaker for sake, you have to rush him down or rush her down in the car. Well, look, we are seeing enough, plenty things in that building that will not talk on that. Yeah. See Vanishemo case. How you were rushed from that place. See a case. No ambulance. District lawmakers then can buy ambulances in that district. Capitol building will buy one or two, put one to the Senate, put one to the House for just in case. You even buy 4. 2 to the Senate, 2 to the House. Staff. Or you reduce it to mobile clinic. One mobile clinic at the House, one mobile clinic at the Senate. You got 2 ambulances packed. Modernity. You want to modernize? These are things we look for. Modernity. Are you guys prepared to spend the money on to modernize the legislature? Buy a generator that will keep the current in our building 24/7. When LC can you switch, LC can you put generator on. Hire a serious. If you don't want to use police, say police not get. Say you want to use police, the police will not plenty. Then you hire a private security firm. You hire a private security firm to provide security for the building. We got many security firms here. You hire a decent. Jamaican Lauren take some people from Grand Bassel, put them in black and yellow, black trousers and yellow t-shirt. She said that her security firm paying them plenty of money every day. Money going to her. What they're doing? They're doing receptionist work. He said they're doing security work. And they can only work in the day. You go and see them to the senator in yellow and black. They only there in the day. Hello, who you can't do? They got receptionist sitting behind the desk too. They got security asking you, who you can't do? Where you going? What kind of nonsense is that? Only because Yombly wants to justify stolen money. So she takes her Grand Bassel people. No offense to my Grand Bassel people, but most of them in the security firm are Grand Bassel people now. But no offense to you. They don't get very on me. But in reality, she tell them, in fact, they are relatives. Most of them, family people, just took them, put them in yellow and black trousers, yellow t-shirt, put them in boots, buy all boots for them. You can see the Capitol building to the senator. They say that security firm, you believe, bro. What are they doing there? The same thing the receptionists are doing there. That's the same thing the so-called security people doing there. They just standing to the entrances. They ask you the same question that receptionists will ask you. If I go to see Bill Torrey or Blebo Brown, that security are supposed to go to, or are supposed to go to receptionist. I'm not supposed to talk to security. The work of the security down there is to ensure that people abide and follow by rules. I mean, they follow the rules. Followed by the rules established on the grounds of the Capitol building. I'm not supposed to have interaction with security. No. Why am I going to Capitol building where my lawmaker is? Then security can be asking me who you can't do. Then that security work down there. I'm supposed to walk straight to the desk and say, hey, I'm here to see Senator Abraham Dowers. The receptionists are there. He's my senator from Mozzarella. Or I want to see Senator Sir Joseph. He's my senator from Mozzarella. The receptionists, if they don't have telephone there, because most of the places you go, they put in your receptionist phone to call straight to the lawmaker's office. The other suggested it to them. I told any receptionist here, you can be asking people, oh, we can't do that. Was, is he expecting you? The man said no. Then he said, you can't see the man. But suppose the man does not have a protocol to see Delon. He doesn't have to tell Delon he's going to see him. All he has to do, go to Delon's office, and people in Delon's office to process the man. The man enters Delon's office people will say no. Today the chief busy. So they have research you for tomorrow or the after tomorrow. And you know, so all that thing you're doing down there just to justify stolen money. You gotta go, you talk to security, then you talk to receptionist, then you go in. So if the man say, yeah, they're not expecting me. So what they know is not expecting me, and I say they're not expecting me, what you do? Then they say, be calling to confirm. Hell, the man is in session, is time calling to confirm. That Liberia, this is exactly what happens in Liberia. So if this lawmaker Rachel Kun, you're serious for if you're already serious that you want money restore modernity to that place, what you have to do is you have to first subject all your corrupt selves to an audit. Who must audit that place? You say, not coming get your money, you say not here to get your money again. Say. Maybe you're coming around to the Swedish government or the European Union or other places. But hey, if the legislature cannot be audited, the UCO, the whosoever, the European Union, just stop giving money to those people in that building for any form of any support if they cannot agree to get audited. How the hell you don't want to be you don't want to be audited? Lawmakers say they don't want to be audited. Lawmakers say they don't want to be audited. Look, let me open a telephone line so you can help me. I need somebody can convince me. I need sense. What are the things making sense to you? That the lawmakers who are exercising oversight over the executive. Then the saddest thing is when GSC does her audit, guess where they report? GSC send the audit report to the Public Accounts Committee in the legislature. The legislature that does not want to be audited, that has never been audited. All the people who are audited in the executive, GAC can audit them and send the reports to the legislature public accounts committee. Then the lawmakers now who have never been audited can sit down over those other reports and start calling heads of spending entities and start asking them, the GAC report said this, what do you have to say? GAC report said this, what do you have to say? So all that I told my government official friend, I said the day I enter government and public accounts committee people call me, two things. I will not go there if they have never been audited. When I'm going there, it means I'm going there for all the government power. Because I'm going there, one lawmaker sitting down, taking home $32,000 for $5,000 for car, $22,000 plus in allowances every month, and refusing to be audited and coming be questioning me about one G. The first thing I told Hensi Kazulu, when Hensi Kazulu was here at PSC, I told him, I said, this is wrong. I told him, I said, this is wrong. I said, hey, we can't be encouraging these people in this legislature, against being audited. Because the executive should detach, should take the PSC from the legislature until it can agree to be audited. You can't be telling people to account to you when you have not been able and you are intentionally refusing to be accounted to other people. You don't want to account to other people and you want other people to account to you. So what's about the executive that will allow ourselves to be audited? The judiciary audited. It comes to the house. She said, no, y'all can't audit us. When you try to audit, then they start calling for your resignation, full of no confidence in you. The other one, all kinds of wreck. That place has to be audited. And I hope Musa Bede fall in trouble because the next thing they come in find someone and things, they say politics and they suspend it for 3 months again. But we all must pressure Baka and say, Mr. President, these people accuse Fonanti. They say Fonanti was lying. He called it for audit publicly and he's undermining the auditors. He's fighting the auditors. Now, GAC, which our Speaker Kofa is no more Speaker. Can we muster the courage, the moral courage to instruct Richard Kun to create, to open the corridor and GAC will go in there and audit the house? The day you people decide to audit our house, send GAC in, I will join United Party. I will support Joseph Boakai re-election. Trust me, they will not audit that place. The day he say GAC is in the house and GAC has completed an audit report of the house and audit of the house, just know I'm supporting John Weah again. I will support whosoever you be upon a ticket. That house, auditing that house is a taboo. Anybody who tries to do so, you are out. They will conspire against you and incriminate you and intimidate you. And, just thinking about everything. They will conspire, intimidate, humiliate, and incriminate you. To the extent if you give them a chance, they will destroy you politically. Because that place, all the former speakers who went down there, they got their own things. Ways and means chairperson is former. They're all there. So you say audit, 14 star. Audit, 14 star. But we all have to call for an audit of that place. If the legislators cannot be audited, if the legislators will say to us that has check and balance, oversight over the executive can say to us that we will not be audited, then it's scary. I'm going to rally some journalists for us to do a joint communique to all of our partners. Call it on them to please call, and we'll also say self-communication to the Council of Churches or the Interministerial Council, the Inter-Religious Council, to please host a national fast and prayer for our lawmakers so they can agree to be audited. Maybe we need to pray, we need to host a national fast and prayer. That the nation will pray to convince our lawmakers to be audited, to agree to be audited. Probably that's what we need to do. Talk to the Inter-Religious Council. Witness them. Say, well, beg you, please hold on and won't we fast and pray for the lawmakers. Let them agree to be audited. You don't honor them. That's why I got angry when I saw that people council of churches say they're going to honor Richard Kune. We honor Richard Kune for what? No. People don't deserve honor. They deserve pressure, attention to do what is right. Then you say you're going to honor the people? You should be praying instead of honoring people. The council of churches should be praying for people, for our leaders. Our leaders need prayers. Non-stop prayers. They need prayers. I will stop here because they were talking about Benin prayers, and before I can tell something here, I can't tell, I can't say sorry. So let me just forget it. But they need prayers. They need prayers. The demons that are in those people, we need a national fast and prayer that will put all the people down on their knees, all those 103 lawmakers down on their knees, and cast or beat the demons, all of them. Because it is demonic, it is evil that a lawmaker, group of people sitting somewhere, will tell you, say, hey, I'm not accounting for anything. I'm not accounting for it. Just imagine, they may say, I am not accounting, will not account for this thing. It's evil, it's demonic. Is that normal? It's not normal. So those people need prayers. Let's take course. Let's take few calls. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 are the numbers to call. And you can form part of the show tonight if you want to participate on the show. And the WhatsApp number is +231 886 500 104. Let's talk to the first caller. Yeah, good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Darius Chijoy.
Go ahead, Darius.
Okay, thanks. Statement to the point. You know, one thing about that legislative branch is an area in the government. If you work with some people, they are the most corrupt branch in your house.
Extremely corrupt.
And I don't want to stay there. I say, you people, then you have to represent you people. When you say something, I don't want to say it. Some of those participants and they told this online gym, some of them security.
Yes.
But you people are taking that huge money from the Liberian people that money are the same. I'm sorry that I want to get to later. I don't know. I don't really know something that says which one is the young law. Yes. I think that Nigeria still have to push it out because you can start a record there, then go up there, go corrupt, then they are refused not to be audited.
Yes, refused to be audited.
Yeah. And Senator Ferranti, case. You know, as a young guy from Nigeria, as a man, I believe in the rule of law. I believe in for people being on transparency because whenever something I done, like the people look at it, they will say yes. To me, the Ferranti Kofa actually, it was a representative. And we're not started to do journalism because I want to do law. But I told me the dialogue, you cannot do that to Nigeria. I know what I'm saying. They don't have anything. I know what I'm saying. The people will ask me that I didn't know. And I was taking this policy, they're probably to be a role model, actually.
That's good.
However, God will protect them and from there, I could send the guy or athlete. We all tenure is on there. You get to be in contact with people. So they are excellent. I believe that there is no excellence. Yeah. So thank you for the program. I'm listening to you. Thank you very
You're
much.
most welcome. You're most welcome. Let's talk to somebody else. Good evening to you.
Yes. Thank you. Good evening.
How are you?
Yes. Good evening to those who started the show. My name is Hussein. I come and take a stand. This is number 2. So I listen to you. First thing, I want to encourage the leadership of the House of Representatives. So over the period, we have had speakers, right? The modernization you're talking about, I think it's a whole age process. But can we change it now? Yes, we can. So I will add my voice to you in encouraging the current leadership to the speakers and the speakers to see how best they can modernize the House of Representatives. Because we go around the world, and even ask for other parliament, when you go there, you see that level of dignity, that level of respect. Because this is the first branch of government. And that branch is headed by people, and a very powerful man in the country. So there should be some respect. In fact, when you dress to come out, this is how to go respect. If you don't have money in your pocket, but the dress code, right? So the appearance tells somebody see the guy is respected. So I think they have to do more, and that is it done, that the way people understand that you are working. So thank you for the reflection, and I hope I will know, because every one of them will agree and work with the leadership to improve that particular place.
Thank you very much, Hussein Keru. Let's talk to somebody else. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening.
You are live on the show. Let's hear you.
Okay, I need to refresh Tyler and I'm waiting for Fennel.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to do a little contribution to your analysis.
That's why you call. Let's hear you. You have 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, thank you. You see, I want to put out a mass setup. You don't want to tell it, people got the very view when got to want to tell it. Then when you were seeing it, they don't make up. You have put voted then, they got told and completely they voted them to us to conduct the affair of their great history. So you need to count an individual, single person there to get really good at their effort of being corrupt. The issue of all the but the love because it should be what is the concern of the real consequence and come together to do that proposal. Then once there is a great affair, then it can be so that it can be able to do.
So you say, like God, you say to audit the legislature, the constituents will come together and agree and tell us you audit the legislature before they audit it. Okay. Thank you. Constituents, you have to go come together and do petition and tell your because to audit capital building. Man, Sisi, go ahead. Oh, this country. What? You think you're fighting or advocating for the people's interests? There will still be people who can do something different just to discourage you. Man, Sisi, I'm okay. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want the criminal left the land. People are garnishing our forces. I want them left the land for the forces of the people. See the thing defending the people agree and come together before the falling the force. Can you imagine that hospital? The people will expect to solve better for that, to talk to be better. Tell you what I'm going to agree and come together.
We should do petition. We petition our lawmakers to go audit.
For heaven's sake. Also, we start for the city. Who was that perpetual death of the people from the party? Nothing less, nothing more. The people kill.
No, but man, Sisi, they want the United Party thing. That everybody is a Yes, it is on the United Party now, show law, to ensure that the legislature is audited. That I agree with you, show,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but they say
because anything do it, CDC do it, they in power now, so they have to ensure it happens.
Yes, so fucking us now because of people out there, every single one has rule for us. Okay, say I'm rule, let me put myself to the people. Let everybody be audited in the court. They put money, where they put money going. All the funds for the top of the hour. To do it for a case of the movie. It's okay, drop. That is not in the law. They want to invest in the city. They said they have to find a lot of people for what we say we don't know. They telling us on this platform that they should agree upon
Yeah,
and be working.
with the constituent, you say the constituent
No,
of meet.
I'm taking my phone for the see. I was
Thank you. The man say the constituent of meet and petition and lawmakers say we want their house to be audited. Then the lawmaker will go and discuss it and agree or disagree. Hello, let's hear you. Interesting country, interesting people. I'm fine. Go ahead with your point.
Okay, I'm the last people. I got from video.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the government, I think, was budgeted for.
No, you are not purchasing my Apple. I asked the man, no, I asked the man said, the man said that everybody view now the scene. So once the first the man said, no, the 1 minute, the first the man said, I sat down on the radio. The first the man said is I sat down on the radio and denigrating.
Well, I'm coming. Why you were trying to say that it is not because I'm someone, it is the right of the citizen constituent to run something and go there to care about because to audit because the money is trying to say, well, I don't think that it was different from what was.
No, then you didn't get him. The main thesis was for me to sit on the radio, I sit on the radio and denigrating lawmakers. That's the first thing the man said. They say for us to okay, I think we lost the color. That means the man say are denigrating lawmakers. Good evening to you, let's hear you.
Yeah,
Welcome, Victoria. You're welcome.
Because they say we'll come together. I mean, we'll come together. We didn't submit this. We'll come together.
No, but Dana will see say that they will call us say that thing.
Yeah, the one I said, you know, when they will come to the commission to petition out because we want petition, we break up on it to the farm, who lost you here, say, oh, you want it. Then it's really the city, they don't will come together, my brother. But you know, it's okay, we're saying, I beg you. You say you're going to do a lot of damage in the country. But me say, do not do it now. So you don't find it, you can't do it, but the real election in the country, you don't do it now. Then I'm going to out. Because they don't find it, go to any of the rest of the country. They will do your meeting. They will do your because the way you are damaging the country. They are all about it. We want to write and we will get us that. So to the now will be said to the forever. I don't think we'll say, oh, we're ready election. I say, yeah, so when you get them, everybody to the work, everybody talking about them, we're going to go to the now. Because they will come, and we're not even saying for it. And we'll try to see the national committee, not yet. So that I will carry opposite. You can't try it, got any extent to change that forever. I think, yeah, we got the around your significant for your country. That's all. Because there's no fault that everybody will really go to the on your family. We can show you. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let the people speak in their man. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Welcome to Freedom Heart Talk. You're live.
Hello, my name is Otis Bakri. I do join you from Madonna Street.
Otis, go ahead.
Thank you for the topic we're going to discuss with Austin Kawa. To the topic, hypocritical government. You always see so many devastating things going on. So we just gotta pray for Mama Liberia that something to the nine. And come June 17 or July 17, we're going to protest against the rescue government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I didn't get the other word he said. Give me Google. Hope what I'm thinking is not what he said, but thank God it didn't come true to the show. We have to add some severity. Be careful to use our adjectives to make the conversation spicy. Hello, good evening to you. Let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, I guess so.
I'm great, by the grace of God. Let's hear you quickly.
Well, also thanks for having me. I'm Ellis Cole. I joined from Nimaka to the British South in just 7 pounds City.
District 7. How are you monitoring the radio?
I always monitor you through social media
Oh, okay.
from the platform. Yeah. Yeah, so up to the issue.
Y'all got electricity down there?
Yeah, you asked me last time, said President Ware gave the people the necessary ground electricity.
Okay. Yeah, I remember asking you. Go ahead with your point.
Yeah. So, okay, I think when the army be happy, when the security forces be happy, that's when government will say they will erect elections. Let me say takes for those who are acting in the way that they see that they are rich to face. So, now, okay, I can say, CDC learn how to get ourselves half now. We want to win the elections. Because today you can see Heaven Coast on there, they are feeling sick. They apologize to former President Weah for the last carry on. But we train the Liberian people, those in the messages that they preach, Liberian people were telling about that message. And so, okay, so sadly, that was today I spoke on some show why the government will give job to the nation of the West. For me, in my own mind, we said it today, I just want to accept that show. Now to speak to people that I gathered and said, the first step that I want people to come. So if I always want to protect that woman and see her husband, the first thing we need to do as government is let us raise the power. That's what we go against. You have people who work in the worker who come today, they are not taking things. Everything is data. Then you come and see want to get job. Why couldn't let the woman here up to replace the worker in that position? So for simple father there, we're just looking at it. I don't think what to do with them, but we're looking at that, I'll say, and think that the start is coming.
You're always welcome, my brother. You're always welcome. Thank you. Okay. Let's take we take 2-3 more calls and then we go home. Take 3 more calls. Then we run home from here. So let me take the call from this side. Good evening. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to put you on speaker. Go ahead.
Hello, okay?
You're live. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, you're live. Let's hear you.
This is my one day trying to go be Lana Koi.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, man. What the?
That is saying the people of God, but they win as the people. When those girls get sick, they're running out for roaming our sinners for all of you going on. Then like the people run, they all of this shit and run and keep the people and for one senator to get off. So the people, everything was here for one person, and you know, so turn around just a minute, and God does shit. What was easy for them and the people that they got there, they just
Thank you very much. Let's talk to somebody else from here. So we're taking the last 3 calls. We have taken 1. Let's take the second one. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, the first thing I was saying, thank you for the show. Yeah, but I'm very grateful we don't go up and what you want. That's the purpose of famous. You see now, people are getting to the toilet. They're not exposed to talking about what's happening now before we talk to them. We discuss something that belongs to the company. Now, we are politicized. But they all see the case of rise of talking about 2029, forgetting the order. We have to discuss. The party that was developed, and they said they accept the same in the right party, or doing the right thing, and they look at the wrong thing, they are backing it. What do you think we can do? People talking about 2029. 2029 comes now, all of them are talking about 2029. Because you were talking about the ministerial council, when they're supposed to get something in the country, are supposed to make decisions because they are backing the government. What do you think this is now the knowledge?
Yeah.
How can we? So at least we have to come with a framework that tomorrow, like Israel would do like here.
this conversation is the government here. So when you try to talk about unity party and CDC, it's because it is one party. Don't forget about the party business. Let's do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You forget about this party business. Let's do what is right. But he didn't say what is right. I mean, he wants us to come together as a citizen, you know, and engage the government collectively and forget about party business. Hello, let's hear you.
Yeah, hello, Hussein.
How are you, my brother?
Yeah, I'm very, very happy for me. I'm almost saying being a CEO for this station and Atlanta. But thank you very much.
Welcome. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that be frank. You know, CDC, you really party that one I can say. First of all, my name is Marvin Beach for calling from Camp Johnson Road. Yeah, let me be frank with you. You know, you didn't party and I think you just say you want to appreciate that when the government, their leader CDC, the government will come in power is very, very drastic because all the president, all the campaign process, all the time, so that they found a government campaign on, they break all. Let me tell you, that's the only thing that I want to get like they were in for status, but nobody was competition with Ramiro. So like what happened to win. So I would just use your mom for that the party left government. That thing that is that thing. If any government can in power, let me trust you. Anybody come to the people, anybody down the street they want to protest. They'll be mad, they will block people, they will beat people, they will kill people because the United Party is not getting food prisoner for the country. So thank you for the time.
Thank you very much, my brother. And we sincerely apologize to everybody. We can take more calls. We have to go. We're only still 15 minutes of the next announcer's time. So we have to go. I'll just squeeze this person in. Hello? 30 seconds. Quickly, let me squeeze you in. You laugh. Let's hear you. 30 seconds. Okay.
Everybody here to call it. They can always find ways to remove that person. The political they are removing. Who will be the leader that are most corrupt leaders that we have? How will they be all this? So yeah, I will ask God as we there, the council of church have to get together and pray for them for the to be all in them. So that when we are doing, we can do it.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. All of you, we have to go.
International baby.
They say they want new press, so we gave them the new press, so what's the price in your grade? They say they want new press, so we gave them the new press, so what's the price in your job?
You know, most of the announcers will say, hey, the time is our worst enemy in the game of radio. I know most of you want to participate. The phones are still ringing. But we have to go home and make time for the next announcer. We have commercial commitments to fulfill as well. That's how we keep the station running. So thanks to all of you for joining us and following the show. Until we see tomorrow, do have yourselves blessed moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin Kawa. Bye-bye.
Plenty people they import